Hello again. Having identified some of those self-limiting beliefs in the previous lesson, this is the part where we start to learn how to overcome them, create new beliefs that will serve our purpose, and make sure that we integrate them successfully into our lives. If you haven't done so already, do make sure you've downloaded the workbook for this lesson. Now, we're going to examine some strategies to help us overcome the beliefs we've identified that are holding us back, create new positive ones, and start to live the new way. Here's another favourite quote, where punctuation is all important. You're not what you think you are, but what you think you are. So much of what we think affects our feelings and ultimately our actions. If we think negative thoughts about ourselves, they take root and grow in our minds. But as soon as we recognise them and start to consider that they may not be true at all, they lose their power. Now let's look at some of those strategies to help overcome these beliefs. Having identified any beliefs in the previous lesson that might be holding you back, now is the time to question whether they're valid or useful. Ask yourself, what if I'm wrong? Often, limiting beliefs lose their power over us when we start to question whether they're actually true. Think about what it would be like if that long-held assumption is wrong. Some of these beliefs may have been created to protect us from pain or failure. They only stay with us if we continue to think they are serving a purpose. Ask yourself, is this real? Now look for evidence for the beliefs. Why do you think you won't be good enough or are too old to retrain for that new role? Remember to reflect on previous success as we did in the last lesson. For example, identify other people who've retrained who are similar age to you. I'm confident they'll be out there. Continue to question your beliefs. What would your best friends say about you if you told them about this belief you've been holding dear? What are the potential consequences of not changing this belief? Go through this process with each of the limiting beliefs that you recorded in your previous workbook. Even if you think you know the reality, you might come up with something new, and the process of questioning each of your limiting beliefs will gradually reduce their power. Make any notes on page 3 of this workbook, or any lovely notebook you may have. We now need to reframe those old beliefs. Choose 3 of the limiting beliefs you identified in the previous lesson and create alternative positive beliefs. For example, instead of thinking you won't be good enough, reflect on the reality, something like, I am good at my role and people regularly seek out my advice. Instead of, I'm rubbish at speaking in public, reframe that. I speak well in public when I prepare and rehearse. So write down in your workbook at least 3 positive replacements for your 3 limiting beliefs. That's assuming you have 3, of course. Now we need to turn these into new positive beliefs. Write down in your workbook at least 3 new beliefs that you can begin to live, inspiring, something like, my business will be successful as I learn new skills. My previous experience will benefit me in training for this new role. I am seen as an expert in my field. Always make these new beliefs positive and inspiring. And maybe something like, for those perfectionists amongst us, it's okay not to know everything as long as I'm doing something I love. We talked earlier about how our brains latch onto familiar patterns. If it's taken 10 or 20 years to establish these beliefs, remember, they won't disappear overnight. It is really important to make these new beliefs believable and ensure that you really want to become this new person with an empowered belief system. It's also worth reminding yourself of the benefits of using this new goal. Things like, how will this new belief help me to attain my goals? How will this belief change my life for the better? Write down in your workbook your reasons for adopting these new positive beliefs. In order to create long-lasting new beliefs, we also have to form new habits and behaviours to support them. One very popular way of reinforcing new beliefs is to write them down as affirmations and put them somewhere that you can see them every day. Then, if you're tempted to fall back into old beliefs and behaviours, you can remind yourself by looking at these notes. Our subconscious is very powerful, as we know, so reading over your new beliefs before you go to sleep at night will help your brain to take on board those new ways and start to forget the old ones. Another way to put on your new belief and keep it there is to find others that practice that same philosophy as you. Follow them. Sign up for newsletters from people who support your new philosophy. Mums who've started their own businesses and overcome challenges. Women who've started new roles in later life. You get the idea. The world is now full of inspiring people telling their stories and lifting others up. Look for empowering quotes. Write them down. Keep them near you to look at, just like your affirmations. There's now so much artwork available with inspirational quotes. I love this one from my friend Shop. As I said, this process needs commitment, motivation, and confidence in your success for those changes that you need to make to stick. So, having clarity about the reasons why, you now need to ask yourself honestly how committed you are to making the necessary changes. On page 5 of your workbook, there are 3 questions to score with space for scoring 3 beliefs. Ideally, a score of 8 or above on all 3 questions should give you the confidence to go forward with your new positive and empowering belief. If not, there will always be the chance that you will self-sabotage your attempts at the new way of thinking. I talked about written affirmations earlier. Another way to integrate new beliefs into your current thinking is to practice visualizations. Spend some time each day thinking about what the new impact will be of these beliefs on you and how you interact with people. In everyday situations, think about things like, how will you feel? What will others think of you? How will you speak to other people? This imagining of the new you in a new world is starting to transfer across through your imagination into your subconscious and then into conscious behaviour. Don't underestimate the support of other people when making changes. Who could help you? New positive habits and behaviours will probably need to be formed. If you're committing to a new, healthier lifestyle, perhaps an earlier start to the day. In the first lesson of this course, we focused on your previous achievements. What superpowers do you have that will help your success? Are you really focused and determined? This is important to keep you on your new track. Those strengths are there to help you along the way. Finally, as you get used to this new way of thinking, it may be that you need to make some adjustments. Those first new beliefs may not serve you best, so be flexible in your approach. In the last page of your workbook, there is space to jot down some of these thoughts. This is what we've covered in this session. Overcoming your self-limiting beliefs, creating new ones, finding those positive role models, committing to change and living your new beliefs. Good luck in finding new positive beliefs to take the place of any outdated ones that no longer serve you. And remember, the beliefs that got you to where you are today won't get you to where you want to be tomorrow. Your beliefs, thoughts and behaviours need to change with the times and also change with your goals. If they don't change, then you don't change, and your goals will always remain out of reach. When you're ready, move on to the next chapter.